Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Thomas's Reading Room number 2. Our first reading room was with Trip Across the Pond, author Thomas K. Dugan, Personal Vietnam Experience, some 26 chapters, videos that you get to listen to the entire book, free. Now, we're going onward first with our next book here, author Thomas K. Dugan, that's me, and Through the Eyes, An Adventure Through America. It is the only book that was written without the word my, the only book written in the history of mankind without the word my. It is written in present tense, and one of the very few books to ever be written in present tense. The only other book I know of is by Damon Runyon, written in the present tense. It's in day-to-day kind of diary form, so it can seem excuse me, kind of boring. But in any sense of the word, we're going to start with it, and from now on, you can type in the video, you can type in YouTube, Through the Eyes, and that should take you to here. And of course, the videos are all going to be mixed, they're not going to be in order and so forth. There's nothing I can do about that. That's beyond our control. It would be nice if everything was in order, but it's not. So today we're going to do the introduction here with Through the Eyes and to get things going. This is Thomas, Susan, and the car's name is Howard, who is a character in the book that you see here on the cover. And of course, on the first page, the cover, when you turn inside, you get a picture of the map of travel through the United States. Okay, let's get onward here. Through the Eyes, An Adventure Through America. And it has a little statement here. Where are you going? I said, Erewhon. Where is Erewhon? I said, nowhere, spelled backwards. At the time, not having a sense of direction or a name of some kind, I accepted an offer from a friend I'd been acquainted with for a period exceeding 20 years. We were to become partners in the field of real estate management, supervising work crews, rebuilding, constructing customs homes. After a short period of pursuing the materialistic world from a spiritual plane, I became aware of this self, becoming engulfed in a deep sadness. I observed the self as a square, plug, and society as a round hole, making union of any kind improbable. Those that observed the self and lacked participation in what I was doing observed the sadness pouring outside the self. There seemed so much futility and not much truth, if any, to a materialistic society. Seeing this clearly prevented me from any participation. I ventured a trip to Frankfurt, Germany, where I visited an acquaintance for a few days, then boarded a train to Paris. I had enjoyed the stay immensely, so much so that I was at peace and could accept only the memories of where I originally came from. After a short stay in Paris, sorting out these discerning problems that I brought with me, I returned to Phoenix, Arizona. The very next day, I drove to the office and reported happily that I was dissolving the self of the business partnership. Frequently, I'd entertained the thoughts of selling the vehicle I drove, a medium-sized station wagon, and purchasing a motorcycle. Taking the basic bare essentials with me, such as toiletry items and bedroll, I could drive any road I wanted, stop anytime I wished, then continue onward whenever I chose. The entertainment of these welcome thoughts provided a sense of freedom, similar to adding water to a plant dying of thirst. I had often asked myself, what is freedom? Does one really know? Not just know, but know that they know. Or is freedom a created fantasy, not real, merely an illusion? I searched the newspapers for a compatible sales position. After undergoing a few interviews, wearing a three-piece wool suit, sandals, and no socks, I accepted a position, only to find it was not a correct avenue for me. I entertained the thoughts that I do not fit well in a world that sustains itself on greed and lies. Then, there somewhere seemed nowhere to turn. One day, sitting in the apartment that I would soon have to vacate, I asked myself some seemingly difficult questions. For instance, what do I know best? What am I good at doing? How am I to survive in a monetary, materialistic society that seems greatly altered? What are these strong actions that want to free themselves, like a pressure cooker with a closed lid, be in society, and I inside wanting to get out, reaching, touching the world with the knowledge, wisdom from within me? I became aware of what I am, realizing that I am to be what I am, the need to learn how to market what I have to offer and make the square plug a bit more round to get society to make the round hole a mite more square. I decided to reactivate the Thomas K. DeGan Foundation that I had previously founded, though due to various reasons had put on the shelf. I rented an office, hired a writer, put pen to paper, advertised the self in the newspapers, offering discussions, promoting Thomas K. DeGan Foundation in any way possible. Though responses were created, there was not enough monies generated to sustain the foundation. Again, I entertained thoughts of traveling throughout the USA, though a little different from the previously entertained thoughts. The result was a venture of 2 years with a friend. We lived in the forest for 16 to 20 days en route, traveled to a flea market close by, and generated enough finances to arrive at a forest, then to another flea market. I served as a guest on radio talk shows, gave talks, passed out materials I wrote, visited with people where and whenever possible. Also, I kept a daily journal. I had been out of high school for almost a year and became deeply depressed about who and where I was in relation to society. I quit a job I had been working and stayed at the house Mother resided in. I inquired into various self-help organizations for solutions to these discerning problems, yet I was unsuccessful in finding what I was looking for. This paragraph I just read was the beginning of Susie telling her story. I must accent the voice. One evening, as I was looking through the personal section of a weekly publication, I became interested in the Thomas K. DeGan Foundation. It had placed 6 different ads displaying what I recognized to be great truths. Excited, I found the number listed and inquired. I spoke with Thomas K. DeGan himself. He defined the history and objectives of the foundation and told me that during the off-season of the foundation, he gave one-on-one hourly discussions. I became overwhelmed with all the information that I promptly set an appointment for 1 p.m. the next day. When we met, I observed Thomas was a mature gentleman who spoke in soft tone. He was interested, and he seemed to have a thorough understanding of what he talked about. I learned the complete projection of the foundation and realized Thomas had much work ahead of himself. He needed as much help as he could gather. Sensing the sincerity, I wanted to do whatever I could. So when time permitted, I visited the office. We shared many thoughts, and I learned more about this self than ever before. One day I stopped by, and Thomas spoke of closing the office. He said he wanted to set about traveling through the United States for 2 years to live outside society. This would put him in a plausible position to write 11 volumes and several booklets. He also spoke of being a guest on radio talk shows. I was surprised and disappointed he would be leaving the city. I thought it was so rare to meet someone who I could relate with, and I became saddened at the thought of farewell. A couple weeks later, Thomas invited me to travel with him. I was thrilled. Everything he spoke of seemed so exciting to me, inasmuch as sharing experiences with someone so sincere. Helping Thomas accomplish the objectives he had created and having the opportunity to learn about this self seemed like the ultimate answer. That is the introduction, folks, and we look forward to you coming back here, and we're going to start the first quarter. These are not chapters, folks, so we'll be going day to day. So thanks for listening, and we look forward to seeing you again. Bye.